Hello everybody. Today I'm going to review a game called the Shopkeeper. It is a point and click title, I guess. Before I get into the gameplay of the game, I wanted to mention the game's UI. Um, there's no title screen to the game, first of all. When it loads in here, in this screen you can see right now. Um, so the UI, I guess, is very minimalistic, to say the least. Um, there's like absolutely no options except resolution, full screen, and they didn't even take the time here to point out that this is actually a volume slider. So yeah, I'd like to say they were going for minimalistic, but I'm just going to call it lazy. So okay, here, let's get into the gameplay. Enough bitching about the UI. So as you can see, I've played this game a few times here. Each one of these, the story began, is basically me starting over because I didn't know what was going on and trying to figure it out. Um, Sadly, when you start, you don't always start at the same point, which is kind of strange. It seems to continue from a previous playthrough. I even tried deleting local data, and regardless, it saved it. So anyways, get into it. So basically, oh, see, I just got an achievement for starting the game a fifth time. Um, that's kind of seems to be the point of this game. The attraction of this game is to try to get all these different achievements and multiple endings and things like that. So the purpose of this game is basically to convince your mother-in-law to invest in your business. It's kind of strange because sometimes you appear to play as the shopkeeper and sometimes you appear to play as the customer,
What
depending
about this?
who's on screen.
It's interesting that you spotted that. It's from a
And
collection of a prominent lady
basically
of
selecting
business.
items appears
I
to
think you'll find
alter
its story
the conversation
useful.
sometimes. And
Would you like to follow me,
once
sir?
you select the item, you in the shop, you go into this conversation with your mother-in-law,
It's you.
and
Be
basically
quiet.
whatever you select from
I'm
that point on
Thinking.
alters the conversation. As you can see here, everything's
Thinking.
red for me because I've already selected all these items. So when I say that clicking on items in your mother-in-law's office alters conversation, it doesn't actually alter conversation options. It just appears to alter the way that she will respond. Even though she'll still respond the same way, she'll just add some information. Like if you click on the boat here behind there, then she'll mention, oh, I got that gift from my late husband, it's all he left me, and blah blah blah. But the conversation options themselves are very ambiguous, and there's nothing really to I guess determine what's going to happen before you actually select it. There's no real judgment that you can make, and you'll say, oh, I'm really smart and I chose the right option. It's basically trial and error, and
You've had a fantastic idea for a
it's
second
kind
set
of
products.
you
Rubberized
basically need to find
flanges.
the
It's a
right
huge
combination
one. All we
between
need
the
is
gift in the shop and the conversation options in order to get the right ending. And the game seems to be very focused on, you know, multiple endings and trying all the options. A little bit like what Stanley Parable did, but much worse.
we can make it happen.
Because, you know, really, it's just trial and error, and it's, you know, Stanley Parable was actually funny. In this case, it's just kind of tedious, you know, constantly just choosing an item in the shop, going in and saying, oh, what conversation did I try after choosing what option? It's so, and yeah, and so, you know, you can head down the conversation through the options and everything, but really you don't know what, you don't really have any idea what to do. And you do have up here notes but these notes basically don't really help you that much into figuring it out. And another thing I've got to mention about this game is the fact that everything is written in cursive, which basically makes it very difficult to read. As I was mentioning, there's no sound, not mentioned that there's a sound option. What's going on is actually they say, would my customers appreciate it if I shouted less? I only figured that out after I actually started doing this review, and I mean, Jesus Christ, it's a UI. It's not art, it's your UI. Anyways, so I don't really know what else to say about this game, honestly, because it's very simplistic. There's not much going on. If you actually knew what to do, I think you could probably finish the game in about 5 minutes. Now, maybe not. Maybe I'm completely wrong, and maybe you just need to click on 150 things in the right order, and there you go. But regardless, my beef
A
with this
lovely
game
item.
is that
Belonged
it's
to
trial and
Captain
error.
Officer in the
You're
French
just
Occupation
clicking
War.
on an item,
He wanted people
going
to
to the
believe he was a
conversation,
hard-working,
trying different
devil-may-care
options,
man.
click on a new
So
item,
he drank
click on the
coffee from his
conversation,
flask, which
try
was
different
filled with
options,
water.
and then you'd think to yourself,
When he
well,
was
maybe I
shocked,
had the right
his
item and I
aide-de-camp
just didn't
tried to
click on the right
sterilize his
conversation
wound
options.
with what he believed
So
was alcohol.
it's
The end was
seems to be
inevitable.
one of those games that basically just wastes your time. Maybe you like this kind of game, but I don't
I hope
like
you're
this
not
kind of
surprised
game.
to see me.
And I like a game where I can figure things out. I've tried every item in this room. I've tried multiple conversation options, um, probably every single one, and I just haven't clicked
We've
on the
got
right
a
item in the
fantastic
shop
idea for a second
combined
line
with
of
the right
products.
conversation.
Rubberized
Now, the amount of
flanges.
time it
It's a
can take
huge
you to
market.
figure this
All
out,
we need
it kind of
is
reminds me of the old Sierra games where you had to type to figure out like King's Quest, Police Quest, Space Quest. And basically those games could be beaten about 10-15 minutes, but it's the time you took to figure out how to frickin' type what you wanted to do, and in some cases you even knew what you wanted to do, it was just not using the right words, etc. It's that kind of frustration that I feel when I played this game, and honestly I have to say I don't even want to finish this game because I only have one life to live, and I don't have an infinite time to play an infinite amount of games. So, to conclude, trial and error, that's all it is. No idea what to do. Nebulous conversation options that don't even clearly give you a hint to where it'll even lead, or even what your character is going to even say. I wouldn't suggest purchasing this game, and personally, I'm going to give this game a 3 out of 10. And the only reason why I'm not giving it lower, which I feel it might deserve, is because I might be biased, and maybe the game actually has some value for someone who appreciates this type of game, but I am not a fan of games that just force you to try every single combination of choices over and over until you find the right one, which kind of reminds me of the puzzles they used to have in the Duke Nukem games, where you had to choose, you had to select, you had like 4 colors from green to red, and you had to find the correct code, and it was basically just like test trying, like 10001, 1100, 11100, 1011, and shit like that over and over and over again, until you get the right one. I just get absolutely no pleasure out of that. It's torture for my brain. So anyways, basically, if this is your cup of tea, then you might actually enjoy this. If you like getting multiple endings and feel good when you see achievements pop up in the corner, then this might be your thing. But I just get no satisfaction out of it,
We can make
and
it happen for
again, that's why I'm
500,000.
giving it a 3 out of
Not
10.
here for my advice.
Thank you very much, and
I'm
have a
here
nice
for my
day.
money. Be honest